Well, hi the YouTube. Today is December 2nd, 2016, and I decided to talk about, to me, very important subject about the Croatian caste system and the incredible social division which is going on and which I notice on my skin. But before I continue with that, I just want to give you a quick update. Because they microwave me, there have been some damages going on. Well, as you can see, it's hot and I can't really open the door. Also, my cat doesn't like to go out. He also senses danger as well, and I also sense danger. You know, if my cat is standing on a door and looking left and right like that, doesn't want to go out, plus my intuition, that's a clear sign. Another thing is, when they microwave you, one of the way how to live is to make up to 8 showers per day, and then I have a very small ear tubes, and I got the ear infection again, and it hurts. And in this country, anywhere between, and this is the information from the World Health Organization, anywhere between 40 and 60% of medicaments are either totally fake, that means like, backyard made, but very nice packaged, or they are old or insufficient quality or something, and so on. So another thing is, bad news as well, because they microwave me like heavily since I moved in Krati. Again, microwaves. I mean, Morgellons activated. This is not gonna be very sexy, I know, but it's factually correct. You don't see much here. They're not fibers are not going out, but you see those dots here. They're creeping out from there, from this area mostly. And when you have microwaves, and I of course, as you can see, have mosquito net because I have incredible amount of mosquitoes, especially after Mango second killed a bat who was cleaning this area from the mosquitoes. He was really angel of this house, and Mango managed to kill him because Mango is a cat and animal. So, guys, many times and when I go into bed, I really don't know, is it a mosquito biting me under the mosquito net, or is a Morgellons biting me, because it has kind of similar feeling, and this unpleasant feeling of something crawling under your skin and that kind of stuff. So these are the updates: infection and Morgellons. But now I'll go back to the topic. Topic is the snobbery in Croatian culture. So what happened to me with a number of my Croatian friends is phenomena what my father told me when I was a kid, when he says, jebeš studente kad nema para, onda je tvoj prijatelj dok mu plaćaš piće, dok puši tvoje cigarete, a kad završi fakultet i postane doktor, onda te više ne poznaje na ulici. So when, in free translation would be fuck students. When they are students and when they don't have a money, they ask you to pay them drinks and they smoke your cigarettes. But when they become doctors, they don't know you on a street. And I was like little boy when I was listening that, and my mother said, "Oh, come on, what are you saying?" But my father was right. So I'll just give you a few examples. My ex-girlfriend Anna Dujic, we were dating 3 years in a high school. That was back in the early 1990s. We broke up. Well, she broke up with me the first day of her medical school. We continued being friends when she was a student. After that, when she became a doctor, and we've been having like coffees and openly talking about our relationships and what's going on and stuff. And when she became doctor, she went like a little bit more frigid, but we still had like hello on Corso and a couple of coffees. And when she became a specialist in basically surgery, I think, I don't really know, because she simply stopped saying hello anymore. And when I asked her if she wanna be my friend on our Facebook, she basically said, "Ja živim svoj život, I live my life." So, and I have another example, like my best friend from first year's university, Marko Bacic. He's now the director at the Kempinski Hotel, 5-star hotel. You know, he doesn't even want to be a Facebook friend anymore. Kazan Vjekoslav Vukovic, who went all the way to the second police officer in Bosnia, but got fucked by the Illuminati because he wanted to send about 740 mujahideen back home back in 2010. So they fixed him up with some fake trial that he wanted to sell some Kalashnikov to some guy for 1,000 Deutschmarks or whatever. Yeah, konvertibilna marka is basically that in Bosnia. Long story. You have to know a little bit local stuff. And so he lost the position, but now he has a private company again. He doesn't know me. And list goes on. I can like tell you shitloads of yeah. Okay, this is very nice example. Like Jana Peric, a friend from childhood, from teenage years. I celebrated in her grandmother's house my 18th birthday, and it was very cool party. Everybody been there. So I meet her like number of years ago. I would say like 6 years ago. Like she asked me, "Šta radiš? What are you doing?" This is like immediately in Croatia they ask you, "What are you doing now? What's your job?" And that determines your class immediately. When police officer is checking you, he will of course immediately ask your education, what are you working? Because in Croatia was always, and I repeat always, people were always divided in two groups: zaštićeni i nezaštićeni, protected and unprotected. Okay. So if you know anything about communism, how it was back then you know what that actually meant. So I stumble upon her, and šta radiš? Ono, tour guide during summer. Oh, okay, yeah, I know that. You? Oh, I work for pharmaceutical industry. I make 16,500 kuna, which is like $2,500, and I have two children. I said, cool. And then she looked at me, just move head and moves on. I was like, what? Really like weird. And by coincidence, I met her at the same spot by Cinema Croatia, by the railroad. I think like a couple of weeks after that, she looked at me. I was like about to say "bok," like hi, and then she moved head immediately away, and that was it. Dude, that's exactly how it was, man. So we have like one after another example when simply people start knowing you if there are one or definitely two social classes above you. This is why we have saying in our language, like Venetian pigeon. When he's under you, on Piazza San Marco, he will eat from your hand, but when he's above you, he's gonna caca on you. Excuse me. This is how it goes. So I try to figure it out. I try to find the ways, reasons why. But before I continue, I really want to ask you, my YouTube viewers, what are your experiences? Because I didn't live in that many countries in my life. I've been like moving through many countries, but I don't really know the cultures from inside. You understand me? So I really need feedback. My cousin from Malmo, from Sweden, told me that this is not the case in Sweden. Maybe it's not. Se non è vero, ben trovato. You know what I mean? So this is one thing. Okay, I really need your feedback because I really would like to kind of map the world to see which nations do have this kind of bullshit mentality, which don't. That would really help me out to figure it out better this world. I really would appreciate it. I shit you not. So I have like a theory, and it's like kind of basic. See, in Croatia, officially about 20% of people are unemployed. Um, but this is bullshit. I think it's the correct term is about maybe 60%. Okay, and average paycheck is by the government 1,200 euros, which is total bullshit. Average paycheck is, we all know it, 2,800 kuna, which is about 350 euros, maybe 400 euros if you count that 1 euro is 7 kuna. Okay, like, let's be optimistic, 400, but it's under that. So in that kind of country, there is not much space for mercy because it goes like this. And first I'm going to give you example from the bats. So when the researchers observed bats, they figured it out that when bats go hunting, some bats in a cave somewhere in Asia, they come with the food, and those bats who went short, those who have food give them food from their mouth, right? But also, bats are mammals like us, right? So those who are successful in hunting are kind of figuring out which are also good hunters, which suck. So they stop giving food to those who always suck in hunting, right? This is evolutionary thing. So this is one thing I put in. Now I figured out CKs. Okay, staircase as it is, and this is the ganja oil, of course. Today this evening I'm not on Khartoum. So this is with the bets, and this kind of helped me out to figure it. This is really embarrassing. Okay, CKs. Yeah, everybody has its own limits. So Okay, now looks better, right? I know that my American colleagues they have these screens like a posh library or some tropical jungle and stuff like that. Well, I prefer this Asian realism as it is. So, where is where is my cat? Okay, so this is how it goes, right? This is life. It sucks, but it's as it is. So now I kind of lost my track. Stay with me. So this was kind of really my explanation, because let's say in a case of Anna or Yana, Anna, Yana, one friend, one ex-girlfriend. So one ex-friend, one ex-girlfriend. So it's very simple because in Croatia, of course, that if you are somewhere higher up, like a specialist, like a doctor, all those people who you know, they would they would eventually start nagging, asking you shit, and you just can't afford it. So it's the easiest way to ditch them. You understand me? I get it. It's okay. You know what I mean? I get it part. Apart from one thing, it's not intuitive, it's not human, and it's deeply psychopathic. That's my opinion on it. Okay, and but I understand it. I mean, as a Croat, as somebody who is coming from that, basically mostly unemployed, sorry, as Eastern European shithole country, which has beautiful coasts, shitloads of charming places, charming churches, beautiful square, you know, markets, and stone houses and olives and little boats in little harbors and all that shit what our $8 billion per year touristic industry likes. I get it. We have that shit. However, you know, we suck socially to that degree that we have like 55,000 deaths per year and about 35,000 newborn. plus plus immigration out, and you know I am not really proud of being Croat. This is very hard to say, I know, but no, not really. But it's a beautiful country if you load it, and yeah, you can go there. And if you have money, oh, this is actually these are pictures from my home city, and it's very cute. And locals gonna love you, of course, while they're serving food and drinks to you and stuff like that. But really, don't count on their friendship if you ever go down socially. Then they're simply gonna forget that they ever know you. And that's why I don't really have incredibly high opinion on my fellow Croats. Okay, I'm just gonna give you another example. Schlagwort at the end. I had this friend from basically high school, although she knew me from primary school, I didn't know her. And when I saw her, I was 16, and I, I thought this is the most beautiful girl I ever seen in my life. She was tall, blonde, Slavic cheeks, beautiful green eyes, dressed in a black trench coat, in a black pants, big black boots, and I was also punk rocker in a trench coat and heavy boots, and she was like so cool. And I remember her from Kastav, this medieval town on a hill. We went there with the school to, like a field trip, history club field trip, and really fascinating history is there. Of course, Croatia is all about these charming historical places, and I really feel I want to tell you about this Jesuit church, which Jesuits, well, now it's of course in ruins because Jesuits been pushing people from there to go all the way like miles and miles to the sea to pick up the sand and then go up. And one woman was so poor she needed to feed her children, but Jesuits and Jesuits been of course Italians and working class been of course us Croats. So yeah, she was like begging them, to let her work for her children because they're hungry and they denied that, and she cursed the church, and then church collapsed, and it never been rebuilt again. So area has all these beautiful um, stories and so on. So my first memory from there, and we've been very good friends in high school, very good friends in the university. She was very attractive. She was always dating some cool guys and rich guys and so on. Not always, but mostly. And but then, she got a job for an American tourist agency, Vintage, and she started to make about $3,000 per month. And I was so happy for her because I was really happy for her. And then I was happy for me because, if she made it, maybe I could as well. And this is how I started to be a tour guide, and I had like first good season and so on. Like in every job in my life, at the beginning everything would be great. I would be learning job and everything would be great, and then the Illuminati would creep in and start giving me hard time, and this was the end of the career. So this story was going on when I was basically laboring for maybe like €100 on Academy of Fine Arts as assistant. I was working my ass off, and I had this, believe it or not, Illuminati, a professor who was being paid €1,200 per month, and he was there maybe three or four times in 2 weeks. And me and other assistants, we've been doing most of the job. And I got paid it by the end of the academic year. This is how it goes. Croatia is, as I say, a system where you have protected and unprotected. He was paid on the very first day of every month, and he was a friend of Primorac. Uchev Milovic is his name. But just to explain the context. So we used to go to all these charming, beautiful places around Rijeka. Rijeka is, of course, on the coast as well. And because she had the money, I didn't. She would go to one of those rich posh restaurants to eat fish or something, and I would go to the shop to get myself a Milka chocolate for €1.50 and a cup of coffee for €1, and we would meet again after 30, 40 minutes. And then, that worked first time. Second time, she started with, I called her Biba mantra. Kruno ko te jebe kad nemaš para. Kruno ko te jebe kad nemaš para. Kruno ko te jebe kad nemaš para. Kruno, who gives a shit about you when you don't have money? Basically, like, Kruno, fuck you when you're broke. Essentially, would be in a better translation. And I remember when I heard it first time, and it was kind of funny. But then she like repeated that dozens of times that time, and the next time, and the next time, and the next time, and the next time, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? You see my point? When Croats start to get some money, he immediately starts like a pigeon, starts shitting on other Croats who don't have money. And that's the sorriest part about Croatia and being Croatian in Croatia. And that explains why I'm not there. So yeah, thank you for watching me, and please tell me how it is in your countries. Are people in your countries also assholes like Croatians? Bye bye.